Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 7 Days to Die, the survival guide for the first 7 days up to the Horde. This is day 2. We are coming up on to daytime in about 14 minutes, well, 14 game time minutes. And then we're going to look at some things that we need to do on day 2. Very importantly, we need to make sure that we have some food and water. And I'm not sure why it's telling me. What's that warning? Oh, okay. Elemental protection. Didn't realise that was on. Not a problem. We've got gloves anyway. So wherever you left off from the night, from the daytime, from yesterday, whether it's the hall or the house, it doesn't really matter which way. If you're struggling on day 1, I suggest just doing the hall, hiding in a hall for the time being. And then working on day 2, you want to secure yourself a house, which is a lot easier done once you've got yourself prepared. So we're going to go through a few things to prepare ourselves, what we can do, how we can do about it, and hopefully survive doing it. So let's pop back when it's a bit more daylight and we can see what we're doing. Okay, everybody, welcome back. And the first thing we want to be doing today is gathering ourselves some wood and some stone. And if you haven't already done so, gather yourself some feathers from the little bird nests around. This serves 2 purposes. You get the feathers for the weapon, for the bow, for the ammo even, and the second one is we have food as well. You get the eggs. There's some things that I'm going to be covering today that we've already covered in episode 1, but there was a few questions that were asked. Thanks to those who did ask the questions about some of the things that we can and can't do to help ourselves, or some things that we were struggling with. So, what was that? Trigger group, okay. Little schematics like that, they're worth keeping hold on to and saving. So once you gather yourself some wood and some stone and obviously your feathers, you want to craft yourself some ammo. Stone arrows will be absolutely fine. And you want to save yourself some stone for the stone axe to repair. So just drop it off a little bit. 58 will be absolutely fine for what we're doing today. Next thing, you want to find yourself a path like this and take it to a direction. Doesn't matter what direction you take, whichever one you fancy taking. But on your way, you want to be looting these. Oh, not reloaded. You want to be looting the trashes because there are actually some good things in the trash. There we go. And killing any zombie you come across as well. Don't be shy about killing the zombies. They give you good experience, which is what you need for your points. And ultimately, you're going to need a lot of them to progress yourself a lot better in the game. Don't worry about going off the beaten path too much to get your zombie kills. Just any that you come across as you're going is absolutely fine. I just loot everything and then have a look at a later stage. You can see it popping up on the right hand side anyway, what you're looting if you really want to know. It just saves a bit of time, keeps us going, keeps us moving. Because don't forget, we only have a certain amount of time in the day to do this. Oh. Nothing in the backpack. So the aim of today is to get ourselves some food and water. That's the crucial thing for us today, really, because without that we probably won't survive much longer than day 2. And one of the best ways, so the best way to do it, is obviously doing it yourself. Oh, he's a little trickier to kill. He's still killable. He'd already spotted us, so we don't get the bonus. So yeah, the best way is to make the food yourself. It'll give you better stats than what you would find, and also you get enough food poisoning. Oh, missed him. Right, careful of the one sneaking up behind you as well. That's why I like to try and rotate around them so I can see anything that comes behind. Now, using your melee weapon uses stamina. Using a ranged weapon doesn't use any stamina. Worth noting that. Oh, excellent. We've just leveled up. Obviously, using your ranged weapon does, however, use your ammo. And if you aim on a rifle, that also uses your stamina. So just bear that in mind. That's a marksman rifle. At least you get to pick up some of your ammo. Oh, that was a good shot. Okay. So, let's carry on. So what we're looking for is a house, because a house is more than likely going to have the requirements we need for some food and water. Without the water, we're going to struggle on our stamina regen. And I'm not finding any house yet. On these paths, there's always an house to be found, so I'm not too worried. But we have found water, so that's good to know. We'll actually fill our canteens up while we're here. If you're lucky enough to find water, excellent. If you're not lucky, then you're gonna have to hope to gather some. Ooh. A pig. Always kill animals. This pig's going to attack us. Oh no, we got it in one hit. Okay, so when you've killed your first animal, very important. I mentioned this the first time. Hit it once with your axe. Nope, it's not doing it. There we go. Until it gives you the large bone. You then want to change that large bone into a bone knife. Let's cancel that for a second. And then you want to use the bone knife rather than your axe to gather the meat. So we've already got ourselves some meat ready for when we find ourselves a ways of cooking. Scrap everything that you don't need. That's all we'll do for now. Fill up our water. First comes to worst, you can drink the murky water, so if you really are struggling, but that will give you dysentery, I think it's called. You get away with it for a little bit, and if you find stuff to get rid of it, then winner winner. Let's continue on our ways to find a house. Oh, and I have spotted a house. I thought I spotted some loot there. Okay, so let's head on in. Now, there's a couple of places you want to avoid. What's that there? The huntsman. Oh, that's handy. Don't worry about being over encumbered slightly. Right now, it's more important that we actually manage to get ourselves some stuff. You know, a lot of brass things that we can be using at a later stage. You don't need to keep hold of all this. You will be able to find more. It's just that I like hoarding it. So yeah, there's a couple of places that I'd avoid, especially in the first couple of days. One that's got tents, because there will be little flying bloody raptor bird things, vultures. They are annoying. And a house that is smashed up and it's got like places where you have to drop down and you can't get back up again. They make it a little harder for you to stay away from the zombies. As you can see, because we're lacking food and water, our stamina is really struggling. Let's smash the door down. Anytime. So we stirred somebody in here. Okay, so I did touch on it on day one. I'll go through it again. The best ways on clearing a house. Oh, I've got the seed. I think I can actually use that. I'm going to use it. Okay, so the best ways is to find the hidden zombies. Just peer around. That's a backpack. Good to know. It's gonna let me. I think I might have to break the door off that. I don't like looting while I've got my back to the rest of the house. Right, so the first thing we want to do is clear this house. There'll be zombies all over the place. Clear the house, and then we're free to loot. Okay, so there's a downstairs area by the looks of it. There'll more than likely be a zombie in there as well. There we go. So zombies hiding in these cupboards. First shot, always a double. Okay. Ooh. Did not see that. That's what we want to be trying to avoid. I can't see what I'm doing now. Going a bit aiming for the head. The head stuns them, or there's a higher chance of stunning them, and you get a chance to get a few hits while they're on the ground. Oh, he's... Be careful of the crawly ones. They do have a weird hitbox, so they can actually hit you when they're a bit closer. It's just a case of just kiting them around. There we go. Staying out of range. Now I have a point. I'm going to use that point for Master Chef because we're going to need that so we can make some food. Okay. Right. Let's have a check. Upstairs. Oh, vulture. Okay, I don't know where it is. We can't really afford to be hit by him, so I'm going to hide. Let's try and find ourselves something to survive with. The first thing we want to do is search the... zombie then. Search the kitchen because the kitchen is more likely to have a cooking pot, which is what we need. Oh, we got some food there. Get the food down here as soon as you can. Okay. We'll move downstairs in a second. Oh, fresh water, excellent. So you're more than likely to find stuff like this in a house. And it's just a case of searching everything. Eat all the food you get. You need it all. Start saving up food once you're filled up fully. Don't worry about feeling something's going on. That's just food poisoning. Alright, that bird's not going away. But we can avoid it. Okay, check that there. Keep an eye out for things like that. They appear everywhere. That bird's definitely after me. Smashing all the pictures because you never know what's behind them. Okay, so these are random. They could be anything. The best one you can obviously get is one with food in it, and they're quite often in these houses now. They're not always in obvious places, so keep a look around. We'll use the big axe for this one. There we go. Look in any places that may not seem to be obvious. What have we got here? So we've got food poisoning and we're on low health. Ugh. So we're doing great so far. Oh, that's a lot of military clothing. I'm going to wear all this because this will... Oh, I'll wear that one. And we'll scrap everything else. Shorts, we'll wear the shorts. Aloe vera cream's good to have for first aid bandages, which is good for us. Still not got a way of cooking our food yet. That's quite cool. I want to wear the cigar. It looks like our friend's made his way up. So if... I don't think he has actually. Oh, look what I spotted, and I missed that the first time round. That will have food in it, so we definitely want that. Oh, shit. Whew. close. Okay, let's get this food. Ah, there was no food in it. Can we get that there? So they put things everywhere. Oh, he's outside. Okay, so it's time to check downstairs now. And we don't run out of power on our axe. Okay, let's see what's in the washing machine. Unfortunately, this is all potluck. It really is depending on what you get. Everything is useful. Oh, that was weird. Oh, so you don't want to get trapped with them. Oh, I think I'm gonna die here. Oh, that was close. So because we are low on health, we're gonna keep kiting this guy here. And you don't even need to engage him with melee weapons, you can just take him out with ranged. Fired another zombie then. Keep him ranged. You can just take him out like this. You'll lose some of your arrows, but you've got plenty more. And if you need any more, then you either look for them on the ground, feathers, etc. And grabbing yourself some stone and wood. But you want to try and get at least 2 or 3 houses in on today's. It looked like he dropped right through. He took all my arrows with him. Okay, we are slow because we're over encumbered as well, which does not help us. And we really need some food. That doesn't help. So it's just keeping an eye out. There may be more zombies, so don't trust anything until you can certainly hear something. Checking any available place where there might be zombies. More feathers for our armor, for armor even. Okay, so it looks like everywhere's clear now, so we can safely just clear everything and so which one is better? There we go. Better. So another little pointer is loose things like that. We'll have things behind them, and so you keep an eye out for them. We've got a small ammo pile. But we do not need them. The crossbow is a terrible weapon to use. Okay, so this house is done for. Time to move on to the next one. Now, another thing I strongly suggest is, obviously, as we are, we're moving really slowly. But we're going to kind of come back this way anyway to get our things and head back to base. So, put a chest down. Put a chest. And any stuff you don't want to carry around with you, whack it in the chest and you can pick it up on your way past. We'll keep the bone knife just in case. There we go. Keep the food on you just in case. I always keep them on me. There we go. So now we should move a little quicker. We can move on to the next house. Okay, house number 2. Let's see if we get some food on our go. Hopefully we can survive a little bit better. Oh, that killed him outright. There we go. Eat, by all means. Keep them at a distance. If you don't want to get him close, apparently I can't hit him. Absolutely fine using your ranged weapon. Okay. How many have we got? Just the one there. So take him out as soon as he comes through the door. When he breaks the door down, there we go. There we go. And he's down. Okay, there's another one behind him there as well, sleeping. And let's go. Missed him. Don't get yourself into a corner if you can help it. Where's he going? Not quite sure where he's gone. Apparently couldn't see me. There we go. Another level done. I'm going to pop this next level into, probably not best doing while I'm stood here, healing factor. Probably one of the things you should get straight away if you haven't already got it. Okay, we should be okay for a minute, so I'm just going to double check the kitchen. See if we can get ourselves any food, because we're really struggling. I'd rather fight. There we go, we got a cooking pot. Got some food there as well. So the only downside we have is our health now no longer goes up with just food. It needs bandages as well to increase another water. Get that straight down us. Break out floor, loose floor panel. Okay, looks like we're walking up another zombie. So, oh, that's annoying. So we just need to get one of our wood frames. The zombie broke it. There we go. Right, let's clear the rest of the area. And then we can loot this house freely. Just like the other house, we have ourselves some more crates. Make sure you gather them and get the gear out of them, and then that is this house complete. And then we can head back to base. Make sure there's nothing up there. We can head back to base and we can finally get ourselves our food and water sorted, and then we can continue on with day 3. Remembering to check everywhere, including loose floorboards. There we go. So that is us. We can now return to our main base and get ourselves fed and watered and sorted, ready for the next action. Now, just as we're returning, I'd just like to point out a couple of little pointers. You can continue to do this for the next couple of days. It's totally up to you. Remember where you've been. If you need to, mark it off on a map. Where we are. So yeah, mark off the ones you've done on the map and clear them. One thing I didn't point out, which I should have done, was actually marking where your chest is. So, we're going to be a slow process here. Oh, mailbox. There we go. Oh, this is slow. So when you know where your chest is, and our chest was here, to make sure you put yourself a little marker. Oh, I want to put that one. Loot chest. There we go. So we know where it is. Let's get ourselves back to base. Okay, so annoyingly we were jumped by a wolf during our travels back, and because we were so over encumbered, we couldn't get away from it. But it's one of them things. It's best heading straight back and gathering your stuff and continuing. So we're going to head back, and then we're going to continue what we were doing. On the positive, we've got full health again. Negative is I forgot to put down my bedroll, which is one of the things you shouldn't do. And this is the reason why. You are quite a fair distance away from where you need to be. Worth noting that, however, it has served me a purpose where I've actually found myself a good location for houses. So sometimes it's not a bad thing, it's just you've got to do a bit more running. Thankfully my days are quite long, so I've got time to head back and still continue doing what we need to do. If you're running short days, then you could end up losing a day here, which makes it a little bit harder for yourself, but you've still got a chance to do everything that you need to do. So I'll pop back and hopefully we won't lose too much time. Now, just something to point out, if you do get attacked by a wolf, you can avoid combat with them. I don't know where that's come from. I'll take it. So you can avoid combat with them just by sneaking around. And getting towards your dropped goods. Make sure you don't walk into other zombies. A little bit painstakingly slow, but saves us having to try and fight the wolf, potentially getting killed again. Okay, keep the wolf there. Okay, and what we're going to do now we've got our weapons back is I'm going to kill it. There we go. If you don't have any weapons like this, don't try and kill it, because it will more than likely kill you. So I'm going to quickly gather this and then get ourselves back. Remember, wolves can also be skinned for their meat as well, which is useful for more of our food. all the zombies around. We'll clear some zombies and then we'll skin the doggo. Wherever it died. Welcome back, everybody. We are now back at base, and one thing I've noticed is I actually did place my bedroll down, but for some reason it's not recognised it. So bear that in mind when you go out. Just double check and make sure it's on your radar. For some reason it wasn't on mine. It is now. Right, we're up and running, and we're going to get ourselves a little campfire going, and then get our food going. What do we need? Some more stone. We'll get our food out. We'll leave the potato for now. Oh, we've got 2 cooking grills. Not to worry. So we'll just get some stones so we can build our little campfire. There we go. So as soon as you've got a ways of cooking food, I strongly suggest you head back and set yourself up with that. In almost every game I've played, multiple times, on many different difficulties and different areas, different maps, I've usually found a way of producing my own food within day 2. So if you struggle, then just make sure you are checking the houses that I've been looking at, the bigger ones, and avoiding the really small ones or the tents and stuff, just to save yourself getting into fights. And go straight to the kitchen to find it. If that's all you do, is just go in there and looking through the kitchens, you're more than likely to find it. There we go. So this is pretty much it for day 2, is going to the houses and getting the basics that we need. So the first thing we need to do is fuel it for a start. Chuck some fuel in there. So we'll just cook 1 of each for now. We'll just cook 1 bacon and eggs. Now, the reason why we've got bacon and eggs is because we've got the meat from the animals and the eggs that we collected as well. The bacon and egg is far better than just the meat on its own. So we'll make all of them. And we'll try and save what we've got here. There we go, just eat that. That puts our health up, our food up straight away. So it helps with our stamina. And then empty our loot. Empty our booty into our chest. Keep all the cloth fragments. You want to be making some bandages with them. Pop everything else in that you don't need. And then realistically you want to be heading back out to gather more resources from the surrounding area. So with that in mind, that's us for the next day. And we've got our chest. So we've got our ways of eating. We've got water. We're fully topped up now, so we can now safely go out and loot where we want. Now it's down to what you want to do now. Whether you're happy kind of going out there looting all the houses, if you want to go out there just do some grinding, if you want to build a massive base. This point is where you can start doing that. Realistically now, we've got our safe location. You can get away with doing what you want. So really, we've in a position to survive our horde night. So with that in mind, if you've got any questions or whatsoever, then send them through. I will continue playing the next few days, and I'll give you an update closer to the 7th night and answer any questions you've got along the way. But until then, thank you very much everybody for checking out this guide. I will continue the guide closer to the time with more information on how to survive the horde night. Thank you very much everybody. Bye bye for now.